Scorpio.
Hey Scorpio, Happy New Year. This is your astrological forecast for January 2016. And I hope you had a wonderful holiday season. And here we're focusing on what this month now can bring you. It's really starting off with Mars now that has been touring your 12th house. So you've been preparing a lot behind the scenes, but already there on the 4th, Mars is going to oomph up a lot of new energy, new drive, a new 2-year quote of energy, which is going to propel you through your chart for the next 2 years until that of 2018. So right now it's like right after the holidays, Christmas and New Year, sleep if you can. You have till the 4th because then it's going to become super busy. Mars in the 1st house, which is into your sign, none the least, is really going to have a lot of intensity for you. There's new drive, focus, and other things too lining up here with this Mars. Now, we also have Venus in your 2nd house for your money and your income, your security. So Venus is going to be crunching numbers throughout the month just to take an overview of where you're at, what you can do to enhance your income perhaps. It might also be a month where you might run out and do some sales shopping. Venus loves to shop, especially when it is in the 2nd house, so more money going out after the holiday seasons too. So you want to have fun, do good buys, but there's just one day I'd like to say be careful so you don't over splurge. That's on the 17th when Venus will square up on Jupiter. Venus and Jupiter together, when you let them loose out in the store, especially with a square like this, as on the 17th, that's when we end up buying all that bling that we don't really use anyway, right? So your question on the 17th is to ask yourself, do I need this or not? And, you might want to think about it a day or two, and if something is still calling you, having your name on it, well then go for it. But yes, that could be an extra. Just a lot of money going out to nothing. But we have also a lot of action here, communication. So for those of you Scorpios who are giving presentations this month, or having talks, or needing to communicate, negotiate, for those of you who are writers, creatively so, this is a grand month for it because we have the Sun, we got Mercury, we got the new moon, and we got Pluto in there. So the focus is going to be intense when Pluto's there and the planets are going to be touching upon them. That's always new initiations, new cut-throughs. And 3rd house is also movement. So some of you might be out and about traveling. In that case, not necessarily long distance. It could be close distance, within town, to and fro. Just extra errands and so forth. Then I'm seeing that there might be more involvement with your siblings this month, catching up with them and so forth. So that would be a good thing. That's also what the 3rd house is all about. And then the new moon, which is coming in on the 9th. This is when you want to put down your intentions. That's the beginning of this whole forthcoming month until the next new moon, but it's also what you're laying down as the foundation for the next 12 months until the new moon comes back to this specific area. So what is it you would want to put down here? The 3rd house is communication. It is travel. It is siblings. It's your community and your neighborhood. It's everything written or spoken, anything verbal, right? So documents and so forth. So I would say that a good intention would be to clear some space a little bit now so that you can dive into, catch up with your closer community, your neighbors and so forth. And once you put that intention in, it will work there so that you'll have small little like energetic reminders coming up that, oh, don't forget this or that person right down the road. And then you will connect and reconnect as the months pass by. That's a great thing. Then also we have Mercury retrograde, which is taking place between the 5th and the 25th, and it's also taking place in the 3rd house. So Mercury tends to bring people and places back from the past. So you can come to meet up with old friends and so forth. That's always a blessing with a Mercury retrograde. You might see passed up opportunities that you might have been too busy doing things elsewhere when those opportunities presented themselves. So when they come back around now, it gives you a second chance. So it is definitely well worth looking at them, seeing if it's something that you want and something that you could use. And if not, well, then so be it, right? But we have Neptune still working in that 5th house of creativity. So a lot of you Scorpions, you're starting to really feel how that is surfacing here in the 5th house. And that self-expression, it's kind of leaking through the work that you do in good ways. There's more vision coming in, and there's also more spirituality also coming through, and perhaps also the need for expressing your spirituality with your partner, because the 5th house is also love and romance. You know, so is he or she listening to your interests? Are they able to grasp and embrace those deeper aspects of your life? And if not, well then, that might just create a little bit of a longing to meet up with other people, maybe groups that can share that experience. The opposite of the 5th house is then the 11th house. So if your lover isn't fully on board with your creative energy, well then that is then the opposite that comes in, where you'll feel stronger of a pull to be with groups of like-minded people. That's the 11th house. And Jupiter is there right now, expanding this area for you. So a lot of you, I see, will be opening up to people of, should I say, kindred spirits, where you can grow. And this is between now and late summer. Uranus still working away on your day-to-day routine, which at times might be a little like this, touch and go. And that's just because Uranus is very unpredictable. You can try to set down a schedule, but flexibility is everything. That can come a little hard for Scorpions, just because they like to feel they're in control and have control. So the more you try to chase time and to bind time down into schedule, well, the more frustrating it can get if Uranus is going to come and shake that up. So it's all about learning how to hang loose and allow things to happen, right? And that's one of the messages that Scorpions are getting now in this era that Uranus is transiting, where it is in your chart. We have the full moon, which is going to be on the 23rd. For you, it's going to be illuminating your career house, Scorpio. So I'm feeling that this is good. You might get some recognition, a pat on the back for work well done. Beautiful time for you with a lot of pride, because that moon is going to be in Leo. And so, of course, it is those things that you stand for, your values, which is now going to be illuminated for what you have worked for. So loving to see that. But we have decisions to be made early in the month. And this is when the Sun and Pluto, they're going to conjunct. The Sun is you, Pluto is your ruler. And Pluto is that point of transformation. So you might just feel like, ooh, I really need to do something here. So there's going to be a situation, and this may be through some communication that you might be receiving, since it is in the 3rd house. Some of you might find yourselves needing to sign a contract. Well, this is on the very same day that Mercury goes retrograde. So hopefully, if there's any contracts involved, that would come prior to the 5th, because the 5th is especially extra sensitive, since it's on the day of the turn. Then we have Venus is going to be squaring off on Neptune. So when we have Sun Pluto conjunct and Venus and Neptune square, well, you know, Venus is what you love. It's what you desire. It's also your security. And it's squaring off on Neptune. Neptune's not clear when it's square. It's more foggy and whatnot. So we don't want you to end up feeling disappointed or unfulfilled expectations. So it's a little hairy as we start off in that first week, because already on the 7th, the Sun which is you and your energy, is squaring off on Uranus, something unexpected. So what we have here is, well, between the 5th and the 7th, I'd say days to be a little extra cautious. Also, on a world scale, we can probably see that there is some situations that are happening, not just politically, but that Neptune too indicates martyrs, and we are living in a time with martyrs, right? So, and Uranus is the rebellion energy. Pluto is that need to transform. So we want to keep an eye on the news between the 5th and the 7th. But on a personal level, what that means for you is making some decisions, changing directions perhaps on a certain notion in your own personal life. And but on the 8th, we're back on track as Venus and Saturn are conjunct. Venus is what you love and desire and what you hold close to heart. Saturn is security that's coming in here with an initiation of a new beginning. That Venus and Saturn for you will be in the 2nd house, so it has to do with your financial situation. Now we have blessed days coming up here, and that is the 12th and 13th. First we have Venus, again, it's still in your 2nd house, is trining off on Uranus. So when we have a trine to Uranus, then that means good news, good unexpected news coming in. So that might be about money. We have on the 13th the Sun and Jupiter, they're trine. Jupiter is in that 11th house and the Sun is in the 3rd house. So the Sun is receiving news, right? 3rd house energy, Mercury, right? Is receiving from Jupiter. So that could be from a group or an organization, or it could be good news from somebody from out of country, since Jupiter rules faraway places. And then we have also Mercury, which is communication and news, also from that 3rd house, yes, 3rd house, and the 11th house. So, and Jupiter is always very gracious, it is generous, it's abundant. So, I mean, there's got to be something really good. And then, of course, that Venus in the 2nd house rules money. So it doesn't have to be about money with Jupiter, but you could think that the surprise, the unexpected, would be at least that there with Uranus and Venus. So great days to mark on your calendar. On the 17th, just don't go spend that money all at once. And I say that because Venus and Jupiter, when they get together, as I mentioned, when they go shopping, it just wants to buy all the bling, the glitter. And so it can go a little overboard there, but have fun, right? Just be a little modest. On the 18th, though, it's such a blessed day. It's Martin Luther King's Day. We have Mars and Neptune coming into a trine. Mars being your drive, your designer, it's your energy and your focus, onto Neptune, which is that higher ideal. It's the higher octave of Venus. So we're talking love, we're talking romance here. Candlelight dinner would be the right thing to have. But not only that, but we have several moon aspects on that day, all of them trines, which would be where the moon is going to trine Pluto, Mercury, Jupiter, and the Sun. So it's like it's all lined up. Beautiful day for all of us. God, it's a day we could call in for world peace, maybe. So that being said, we're looking at the end of the month. On the 22nd, we got Mercury and Pluto conjunct. That is sharing the same degree that the Sun had with Pluto on the 5th. So if you initiated, and conjunctions always initiate, means new beginnings. So whatever you initiated on the 5th, now is time to talk and negotiate, because Mercury is coming into that same degree. And for you, it depends on what you got going there, but it's a 3rd house issue, which will have to do with short distance travel. It can have something to do or deal with documents. It can have anything with writing, knowledge, and so forth, which is also the 3rd house. And communication, if you're giving a presentation, great time, because you're going to have a lot of good communication qualities coming out. You're going to flow, and you're really going to impress whoever is listening, because the power of your speech is Plutonian, meaning you're going to be able to cut to the core and get the message across. So happy to see that there, Scorpio. So that is what we have here now. The 2016 scopes are up for the full year, so you can come to see what you can expect throughout the months, through summer, autumn, and into the end of 2016. If you haven't heard them, you'll find them on the channel, as you also will see what the cards, the Tarot reading is saying for January here this month, and see what the news is there for you. So I'll see you next month, Scorpio. Have a great one. Bye now.